Musings by Nikki. Today we're in a little box. We're in my spatter box, and I'm gonna work through some more of the wonderful digi stuff from the Foxy Rag, the most recent issue, issue 5 of the Foxy Rag. If you do not know what it is quickly, it is a magazine. It's a digital magazine put out by Tracy Fox and Fox Creative, which is her company, her business. And you can find it on Etsy and the Foxy Rag. I'll link it below. But it's an awesome digital magazine that comes with all kinds of wonderful articles, but it also comes with all kinds of wonderful digitals that you can print out and use. And in my last video, we did some of that and had fun. And today I have run the sheet of butterfly postage stamps through my scan and cut. And so it cut out all these lovely little, you know, scallopy edges for me, which there's no way I would have fussy cut that myself. I've inked the edges slightly to just try to get rid of some of that. That, by the way, chewed up the rest of my inker for sure. So I have a fresh pad on there because these edges just chewed the rest of it up. I also cut out the postcards and the file folders. And so I think what we're gonna do is some embossing on these. And I've got my embossing pens so that I can select certain parts of the image. I've got my clear embossing powder, but then I have got some of my fun colored embossing powders, distress embossing powders, and I thought we could do some specific like coloring on some of these dresses and stuff. And then seeing how much time we have left after the end of that, I also have printed out my Boho Bliss file folder set for the journal that I'm working on right now. And I want to, the backs are just, they're printed on 65-pound cardstock, but the backs are kind of boring and lame right now, and I want to be able to do some spraying on them maybe. And since I've got my spatter box out, I thought this would be a good time to do some spraying and maybe even a little bit of selecting some certain images on some of the, though not the small ones so much, but on some of the bigger ones to see if we wanted to do any sort of embossing. So I thought, let's just have some embossing fun, and let's just play with some little multimedia stuff. And oh, and I also have out my copper acrylic paint, and I have been just kind of applying a little bit on the edges of things for my new journal that I am working on, so we might use a little of that. We'll just see how much time we've got. I just thought you could come hang out with me as we do some distressing. Let's start with the butterflies, and I'll do oh, I need a, hold on, there we go. So we need a sheet of paper for the dumping back in of the powder. So if you've never done embossing before, this is, we're going to use my heat tool to emboss these. And I'm going to put them over here. And these I'm just going to be doing with my clear embossing powder. This is just the Ranger brand clear embossing powder. And so you have to have a special kind of ink, right? This is embossing ink. It's a special kind of ink, and it holds this particular. Okay, let me back that up really quick. You do not have to have a special kind of ink. Some inks work, some inks don't. Some inks work better. The stuff that's called embossing ink works really well because it's meant for this, so it's meant to stay sticky a little bit longer and really hold the embossing powder on. And this pen has that in there, so you can use other inks. I just go ahead and go with the regular one, right? Okay, then this is a trick that I heard from Tim Holtz. Never flick the side of it because it flicks too much of it off. If you just tap, 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 it's better, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a few more, and then we'll heat set them. So the reason I'm using this pen is because I can then color only the image that I want, the area that I want. And I'm not trying to color it all the way in because I don't mind if there are little bits that are missing, kind of. It's almost kind of gives it kind of a distressed look, you know, if you're missing parts of it. So my goal is to, I mean, it helps that it's clear and you can't exactly see super well where you put it. So then we just dump our embossing powder over there. And I turn it upside down and tap, tap. And then can you see where the powder is sticking to the butterfly now? Kind of? Let's see. Yeah. So the powder stays there. Once it's on there, it doesn't matter how long you let it set like that. Because once it's on there, it's good. It's just in the form of, like, once I've colored it, you got to get the powder on there before the ink dries. So once I do this part, then we have to get the ink on there, or the powder on there quick. Lots of you have probably owned this equipment and have done this a lot of times, so I'm just talking through my process for people who have never done this or who are maybe interested. You can use this powder left over here too, but we'll, you know, eventually put this back into we're just going to shake it down into the pot again. So, I mean, one of these little pots of embossing powder lasts for quite a while. So tapping, tapping, and there we go. We've got another little powder covered butterfly. So let's, because my spatter box is only so big and I don't want to make a mess of myself here, we're going to put the leftover powder back in the little pot. And you always want to make sure that you get your ink or your powder pot out of the way before you start putting the heat gun on, because that can be a mess. So I've just got my Zap heat gun, and before I put it down on the thing, I want to make sure that it's hot. And basically we're just gonna, oh, these are gonna want to move around. I'm gonna grab my palette knife quick. I thought I had one over there. Let me grab it. Palette knife. This just helps to hold them in place. So you're basically gonna just run the heat gun over, and you will totally see once it starts melting. It is the most satisfying thing. You don't want to over bake it, you just want to go until it all seems to be melted. And you're done with that one. And it just gives it this lovely clear covering. Let's get this one over here. There we go. And they dry up pretty darn quick. There you go. So now I've got this lovely little, see how it's shiny? Let's see, I'm trying to catch the light right so you can see. Anyway, so now the butterfly on there is shiny, and it just kind of sets it off apart from everything else. It also often like richens the colors of the thing that you've selected. It kind of richens the colors on there. So I'm gonna set these over here to continue drying. And then I'm gonna, you know, I wonder if I can bring, I'm gonna try and adjust my camera down a little bit more so you can see. And then I'm gonna keep going with the butterflies, but I'll just put some music over it and speed it up a little bit maybe. And we'll come back and do some of the other ones with some of the colored powders, but let's see if I can adjust my camera a little. Okay, let's see if you can see that angle a little bit better to see when I'm coloring these guys. I posted the video of me working with some of the digis from the Foxy Rag yesterday, and in the video I had asked if you guys thought you would want to see me go through one of the boxes that I got from my friends, and it sounds like you guys are interested in seeing that. So I think after I'm done with this, I'll film and we'll go through. Who knows, it could be really fun and exciting, or it could be dull, but you don't have to watch it if you don't want to, right? That's the beauty of YouTube. If it's not interesting to you, don't have to watch it, including my own videos. Just saying. All right. So again, I'm just coloring in the butterflies. These distressed pens work so great for this. It's perfect for being able to choose just what you want. And you'll see, I'll do it on one of the file folders too. And it's cool. It's just a way to set off an image. I don't haul out my embossing powders nearly as often as I should. It's such a great tool. Okay, I'm going to put this back in, and then I'm going to speed up this process of me coloring and shaking powder onto, that's a good shot right there, the rest of the stamps as I kind of set them up, and then I'll come back and we'll melt them together, because honestly that is the most funnerest part. So I'll see you in a second when I'm done getting them all set up. Okay guys, let's watch them melt. Hopefully from this little bit closer angle you can see them melt a little better. It's kind of fun. Let's make sure I'm hot. Yeah. Blowing them all over the place. All right, so I'm gonna fast forward through me doing the rest of these, and I'll be back in a sec. Guys, now we've got a bunch of shiny butterflies. Look at that. I'm always looking, yeah, so I love how embossing looks. It just adds such a cool layer of texture, you know, visual texture to something. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna stick these over here. Pardon me guys, still doing battle with the allergies. It's just a part of my life now. All right, let's do these first. Now, I don't think I'm gonna do anything on this one. I'm just gonna, on this one, I wanna do this butterfly because I think it'll look really cool to just have it standing out when we fold up this file folder. The other thing I was gonna say is that I print on an HP inkjet, and when I first did this, I was kind of worried that this ink pen would smudge, you know, the inkjet design, but it doesn't at all. I've never had, it's not even on the tip of the pen. You can't even see, you know, where there would be some pickup of ink or anything. So that's really cool. Oh, I totally did this not on top of my sheet. Dum dum da dum dum dum. That's okay, that worked. Tapping, not flicking. Otherwise, because you want a good thick coat of that powder on there. See how it's almost like standing up off the, you want a good thick layer. Ooh, motorcycles. We've been having a lot of motorcycles go through town. Now that it's nice out, everybody's pulled out their bikes and they're going for rides, and our town is a nice place to stop on a weekend for some ice cream or a meal at the cafe. All right, let's melt this sucker. So satisfying. Like, I think even if I didn't like the way embossing looked, I would do it anyway because I just think that it's so satisfying to watch it melt. But see how that like deepened the image? It really brought the colors of that image out. That's another great thing about like just clear embossing powder, is it really brought out the color of that butterfly. So now when we fold this folder up, you're gonna have that really cool looking shiny, you know, thing right on the front. But I think we'll maybe do some spraying. This here, can be a side effect of embossing though. So if you're embossing thick, like this is a thick layer, if you're embossing a thick layer on a journal page or something, be aware that you could get some shadowing on the back side, because this is a 65-pound cardstock, so it's a thicker paper. If you do it on like a regular sheet of paper or coffee stain, you very well might get a stain like this. So one of the ways I avoid that is just by stamping and doing some work onto regular paper and then tearing or cutting it out and putting that on, so then you don't see the back, the bleed through. That's just a thought. All right, now let's do some color embossing. So what I'm thinking is I want to color her dress, and then maybe, oh, I don't know about her shoes because they have these little laces on her shoes, and that might be a little too difficult to try and do. But then where it says, do you see the flower? I think I'll color that and do that one color, and we'll do her dress one color, and then we'll see where we're at. Now, let's pick some fun colors. Let's do her dress. Let's do her dress in speckled egg. Let's do that first. So I'm gonna try and color just her dress. Again, this is why these embossing pens are so awesome, because I can try and color in just only her dress where I want the powder to stick. And again, I'm not being super careful to make sure that I fill in every single bit of her dress, because this is like, you know, she's a ballerina here, and this is kind of, this looks like tulle. And these are old images, so a little bit of distressing and missing, you know, embossing or missing powder is an okay thing. All right, let's get my sheet before I pour my powder. Okay. Oh, this is gonna look so cute. Look at that. That's gonna be so cute. All right, so we will get this back in here. See how little of it you use, you know, even when you're putting a thicker layer on. You return so much of it to the thing here. Okay, now I'm gonna do this little part, and I'm gonna use my finger to just go over it and make sure that there's nothing, especially like in the winter when I find when it's really dry, sometimes you just get a little bit of static cling. So yeah, I wanna just make sure before I put my pen on here that there's no little hanging on powder. Do you see the flower? Okay, let's do that in, excuse me, let's do that in antique linen, which should be just a very slight, just a very slight color on there, but it'll give it a little shine. Normally I will not do more than 2 colors at a time. You're just running the risk of mixing your powders together and stuff. So if they're far enough apart like these two are, then I'll try doing 2 colors at a time. But if you're not sure, I'd say stick to just one. And we melt. Cute. All right, look at her sweet little dress. So cute. And now it's shiny, and so are the little words down there. So as we use, like now we've got this base layer of some color that we've added to it, and if I ink the edges or I put some of that copper on there, and then maybe we'll back it with something to get rid of the, you know, the bleed through. But we've got a good start on making something super cute there. Okay, let's do the other two as well. So I've got these ladies, and I think their overcoats need to be different colors. And then maybe we'll say, I will see pretty. We will do that part. So, oh, and maybe their hats. Okay, I'm gonna very carefully here try to color just her overcoat. And then we'll do just hers, and then we will do color the other one and do the other one, because they're way too close and I don't want colors mixing all over the place. And then I think, should I just do her hat the same color? Yeah. Oh, throat tickles. Okay, trying to get just her hat so I don't like color her face. Okay, let's see how well we did there. What color should we make hers? Fossilized amber, how about? This is a pretty color. Oh, I haven't even used it. Yeah, I have. That was just stuck in the lid. I was like, I know it's a pretty color because I've used it. Excuse me. Oh, there we go. And like I said, I don't even mind that I'm missing little parts of it, because I think that's just part of the whole distress thing. Okay. So let's heat her up. Let's melt her down. All right. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm like hacking in your face. Okay. Now I'm gonna make sure there's no little bits of powder on this other lady before we go in and give her a little color. I did a good job of not coloring the other lady's face. So these are the this embossing pen is a brush tip one. I am pretty sure that you can also get like a bullet tip, where that would be even more precise. I had an off-brand one that I just got on Amazon before. I feel like it ran out of ink faster than these actual Ranger ones. It was significantly cheaper, so I guess that's, you know, you get what you pay for sometimes. But that one had a bullet tip, and the bullet tip is like very precise. The thing that was really cool to do with that was you could write words, write very small, and it would pick that up, you know, if you're real careful with the embossing ink. Let's do hers. Let's see, I want to give her a pretty color. Let's do Broken China, this blue. Okay. Oh, again, I did not go over the... Ooh, being careful. Sometimes I will, I have in the past used like a paintbrush, a little thin paintbrush, in case you get some stuck to other places, like if it's just getting kind of clingy. But okay, let's give her a little. Okay, and then let's do over here. Let's do I Will See Pretty. I will see pretty. I see pretty all day, every day. You just have to choose to see it. It's easy to see the ugly. Especially these days, I think it's just easy to see the ugliness in life, right? So sometimes you have to choose to see the pretty. Oh, I'm gonna do this red. I think this is fire or something. Crackling campfire. It's almost kind of orangey, but how fun. This will be nice and colorful. Okay. We'll dump the powder back in. Okay. And we'll hit them with some heat. Awesome. I love how this one looks. Those ladies in their lovely little coats. And now we say, I will see pretty in this pretty orangey red. I'm going to do this last one here. And, pardon me. And then I'll just fast forward me doing this last one. And then we'll come back and look at what we're going to do next. one's wanting to curl up a little. But we've got our postcards done. We've got our butterflies done. I'm really loving the way these turned out. There we go. They're super cute, and I like how this is going so far. What I think I might want to do is I'm gonna grab my inks. Hold on. Actually, I changed my mind. Before we grab out inks, let's see if we want to do any embossing on these file folders while I've got this mess out, right? Like, let's be smart about this. So I think I'm only going to do it on the two bigger ones. And what I want to make sure is, you can see kind of like this is where they fold. The little line there is where it folds. So whatever I do, I don't, like, it'd be cool to do this, but I don't want to do it because if you fold where the embossing is, it'll probably crack. So I don't want to do that, but it would be cool to do these butterflies. So let's do them with some clear embossing, and I'm gonna fast forward through this since we've already seen this process, and I'll come back when I'm done. Okay guys, so I finished up the embossing on the file folders here, and I did this one here, got the butterflies and this little orange blossom. So what I want to do is, spray the backs, but I forgot about bleed through. But you know, it's kind of cool the way it looks, and I'm not totally mad at it. So let's just do some inking sprays and we'll see what it looks like, how it turns out. And if it's bad, I'll just cover it up. I just want there to be some interest, you know. So let's see, I'm going to pick out a couple of colors here that are, these are oxides. Oxides you have to shake up. Let's see. I know I have like a darker red here. Oh, this is Crackling Campfire. Some of the same ones. Okay, there we go. So the oxide sprays are like creamy, whereas the Distress, just regular spray stains are not as creamy. It's like the same difference between your ink pads. And then let's do a... And if you're shaking them, it's best to shake them side to side like this to mix them up, because otherwise, if you shake them, you know, like if you go up and down like this, they leak through the tops and you have a hot mess on your hands. So, okay, I'm gonna just give them some spray stain here. I'm gonna start with my darkest one, which is Gathered Twigs. And I'm just going in on a couple colors. This one is Crushed Olive. Then let's do some Speckled Egg, which is this nice light blue. And you know what, let's do Crackling Fire. And we'll finish it up with some Wild Honey. That kind of warms it up. Now I'm going to dry it with my heat tool. Okay. So we've got file folder on one side, and now we've got some speckly design on the inside. It's not fully dried, so I'm going to lay it carefully to dry. Pardon me again. And let's do these. And again, you know, it's kind of cool. By the time that I got the spray stains on there, on the other one, then you didn't even notice the little bleed through as much. Speckled egg and crushed olive. Oh, forgot to turn off my phone. There is the crackling campfire. Wow, I got a lot down in that corner. You guys like my ringtone? Isn't this dancey? Okay, gonna dry it up. Cool. There we go. So when we cut it out, that'll look cool. Again, it's not fully dry, so I'm setting them over here carefully. Just kidding, I threw that one on the ground. Just like I planned. Let's do the back of this one. So this is kind of blues and greens. So let's still go with the crushed olive. Oh, let's do the other one at the same time. Okay, let's still go with the crushed olive. Yep, like that. Then let's go with the speckled egg since we have that out. Look at how that wants to curl up. Okay, and then let's go in with a darker blue. This one is Broken China. It's not that much darker actually. Let's see, what else do I have over here? I'm flipping through my oh, let's do a little Peacock Feather. Let's do a couple spurts of this. And then let's do some Peacock Feathers, which is like one of my all-time favorite colors. Okay, that's lovely. Let's dry that up. Okay, let's see how they look compared to the front. Oh, that looks really good. Look at that. Cool. They need a little brown. That's honestly, they just do. So I'm gonna go with, this is now spray stain and it's vintage photo. There. That darkened it up a little. It added that brown. All right, there we go. That matches better now, right? Awesome. So you've got a little embossing and some spray staining going on that one. That's cool. I'm gonna, while I've got my spray stains out and my spatter box out, I'm gonna go ahead and do these file folders as well. And then I will come back and I'll put all this away. I'm gonna spray these, put all this away, and then we will look at putting a little bit of like copper edging on things and kind of see where we're at, okay? All right, guys, so we've taken a big leap forward and I cut out all of the file folders that we had just sprayed. So, you know, they've got the sprayed insides and they're all cut out and folded up. And I've collected the butterfly stamps that we embossed, and I folded these guys up. Love how that color turned out in there. It's so great. It matches the fronts of these file folders so well. And then I've got our postcards. And so lastly, I thought we could just do a little bit of like gilding, I guess is what I would call it. I am using copper. This is Artist Loft brand. It's just a kind of the Michaels in-store brand, I guess you could call it. And this is just a copper acrylic. And I have got a brush that looks like a brush you wouldn't want to use because it's been abused by my nieces and nephews and other kids, right? It's all flared out and stuff. But that's actually pretty perfect for this, because what I want to do is just kind of get a patchy layer of bronze around most of the postcards. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, remember, we're not going to worry about the back because of the bleed through, and I'm going to put something else on it. So I've got my brand new dauber here, and I'm going to go around and ink. Got to break this one in. I'm going to give it a good layer of inking because I'm kind of going grungy on this, because you know me, I love grungy. Okay, might as well do all of them while I'm doing this, huh? So I'm going to put the layer of I'm going to put this ink on here because I am not going to try to get copper on every single part of the entire outline of the postcard. I just want to get it in parts, and I want, I want there to be a nice ink, like aged edge look around where I don't put the copper paint. Okay, so come on. What I'm going to do is just pick up tiny little bits and then dab off. So picking up little bits on the edges of the brush and then dabbing off, and I'm going to kind of just brush like this, and my goal is to make it kind of wispy because I don't want it to be just a full layer. And there we go. It's just another little bit of something, and it's going to be hard to pick up on camera. You can see the gloss. There you go. You can kind of see it. Anyway, it's metallic, and it just adds just a little something else. So let's do this, and we'll do this lady here. I'm just kind of going on the edge. There's a good chance that I might end up sewing around these to go onto something, whatever I end up backing them with. So this is kind of what I'm going to do. You can really, if you like this kind of thought behind this, whoops, that got a little heavy-handed. That's okay. Sometimes I'll just flick. If it gets a little heavy-handed, I'll just kind of flick around on there to see if I can thin it out a little. You can't do this fast. It's one of those things that requires a little bit of patience as you kind of, slowly add it rather than quickly add the paint. But you can go back, and I might go back with some gold as well, because I'm using gold. There's some gold in this book too, so I might do that. But now on these, I'll probably go around all the edges. I don't know, maybe not. Let's see what it looks like. Nah, I think I'll do this one, but I think I'm gonna ink. Yeah, I'm gonna end up inking on this, which is fine. I mean, it kind of looks cool, done all the way done up. Probably have to do something on the inside too here. It's just for this kind of like boho. Oh, it looks really cool on the inside here, this copper does. For this first like kind of gypsy boho, grungy boho, I guess, maybe, or something. The book that I'm working on right now, this copper actually kind of just adds to it. So I don't know, that's kind of cool. Can you see on camera? It's so hard to pick that stuff up. Some of the things that you do are so nuanced that it's really, you don't really see it until you're holding it in your hand, you know? But it adds a cool layer to it. So I like the way that looks. I will probably end up inking around most of these and then just doing a little layer like this. And then let's, you know, just for the sake of having some fun, let me grab some gold and let's see what that looks like. All right, I've got, this one's called Old Gold, which is a little bit more of a grungier gold. It's not as bright, and it looks bright. It's not as bright as the regular gold in this line. The regular gold is like yellow bright. Okay, I'm gonna try and swirl off a bunch of this. Not that it super matters, because you know, it's just all getting mixed up anyway. But I'm gonna dab, 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 dab off. Now I just kinda, I'm gonna lightly sweep over some of the areas that I already have some copper. And just past on the edge there. Ooh, that looks cool too. Again, you're not gonna be able to, let's see, kinda. Anyway, I like the way it looks. So I'll probably go around and do that. But anyway, I'm gonna keep working on that. I think I'll leave the butterfly stamps as is. But I think I will, you know, keep gilding the, you know, faux gilding the edges of these postcards and those file folders. Yeah, and so thanks for hanging out with me for a little while today while I did some, you know, embossing and spraying and working on some more of this fabulous stuff from these postcards and stamps and the file folders. These are mine, but the rest of it all comes from the Foxy Rag, which, like I said, it will be linked in the description box below, where you can pick that up and get all of this fantastic, except not that, but all of this fantastic stuff, these digis from that magazine. And you can, you know, read my article in there and read about some of the other fantastic crafters. I am in very good company in this issue. There are some fantastic crafters alongside me. So anyway, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever time it is, on whatever side of this globe of ours that you live on. And until I see you guys next time, take care and stay safe. And I hope that you're able to do something crafty and have fun and spend some time with some loved ones. And I will see you guys soon. Take care and God bless. Bye.